Dear David Rubenstein, I'm sorry that it didn't work out in your first year as owner. I'm sorry you got swept out of the playoffs in front of a less than full stadium. I appreciate the fact that you sent out a tweet saying what an outstanding season it was and how happy you are with everyone and everything and how this is the greatest thing in the world. Because I know that behind the scenes, you are DBR. And the reason you're despondent beyond repair is that you're a smart man. And you know that your window with this core of players being pre-arbitration eligible is closing. And you know that each year that passes, they're going to get more expensive. You know that Corbin Burns is a free agent, and having him at the top of your rotation next year is either impossible or going to cost an amount of money that's going to make you get the meat sweats. So in the alternative, David, you have to, other than letting the public think that everything's outstanding, you have to speak to your baseball people and say, Mark, what are your thoughts here? What do we want to do with this team? Do we think Brandon Hyde's our guy? Freddie G. Well, they're 0-5 in their last 5 playoff games with these guys. Forget the statistic that the Orioles have lost 10 playoff games in a row. I don't want to see it, don't want to read it, don't want to hear about it. It started in 2014. Half the players were done. It's ridiculous. Who's on the team from 2014? I'm going to go out on a limb and tell you 0. The fact is, the last 2 seasons, swept by the Rangers, who won the World Series, swept by the Royals, who, don't kid yourself, they're a good team too. You cannot change your entire team and change the course of your entire path when you lose a 2-game series like this. And I am being consistent. Don't yell at me in my ear. The Astros are in a different place in their team than the Orioles are. The Orioles are in the heart of greatness. They have the ability to get performance from players at low numbers that you've got to take advantage. Strike while the iron is low. Think about this. We told you what happened with Houston. They had a dynasty. They made it to the playoffs. What about the Blue Jays? What have they done? They're in the same situation. They've got a core of players. Vladimir Guerrero is going to be a free agent. And they sent out their president of baseball operations, Mark Shapiro, yesterday. Coke, I don't know if you saw this. It was spectacular. He announced that they're bringing back their GM. Hip, hip, hooray. That's great news. News alert. Mark Shapiro is the GM of the Blue Jays. You can say that it's Atkins all you want. You can listen to the words he says all you want. It's meaningless to me. Shapiro knows everything that goes on. What do you think? Ross Atkins just goes around and says, hey, I'm sorry you read that in the paper, Mark, but we just signed Vladimir Guerrero to $200 million over 10 years. What? Don't be ridiculous. Why would Mark Shapiro say that if I felt there was a better alternative to run our baseball operation, I'd make the change? Really? There's no one better than Ross Atkins. I think what he meant to say is, if I felt there was a better alternative to my running the baseball operation, I wouldn't tell anyone. I think that's what he meant to say. You've got decisions you've got to make in Toronto that you don't have to make in Baltimore, and that's why Baltimore is in a better position. The roster of Toronto is far more along in years and in money than Baltimore's. If you're the owner of the Blue Jays, you know right now if you're going to re-sign Vladimir Guerrero. And for all of my Canadian friends out there who are obsessed with re-signing Guerrero, I ask you, the concept of running it back, which you're demanding and which basically Atkins said, oh, we love our core. Of course, we are committed to our core. Why? How did I not get people to believe me when they were angry when I made trades? And I would say, what are you committed to? Losing? You're committed to last place? You're committed to not finishing 500? You're committed to not winning another World Series? What exactly are they committed to in Toronto?